So I know most crusty guys, this is their favorite line. The what do you bring to a table, right? And I was thinking about this, and the reason why these men are just blatantly not the people you want to date in general, the reason why these men are asking this is because they don't bring enough to their own table. So when they look at relationships, not only are they trying to find a pretty face to kiss and a nice body to press up against.
I mean, that's a nice way to actually introduce the person that you might be attractive to. It's basically calling them crusty. If you're a guy who chooses to have a certain type of attraction to a certain type of woman, then you are crusty. So which means if you are not abiding to her desires, and she's bringing a lot to the table already. As you can hear, there's a baby in the background, and she's bringing that and plus or everything else, the type of lifestyle that she actually expects to have because of you. Of course, you're gonna be crusty. Of course, you're gonna be very much in a negative because again, she has a certain type of standard that you're gonna have to meet. And if you are not the person who's gonna play by her rules, then you're crusty. It makes sense.
Right? They want the physical companionship with a woman, but they also want free labor for her to complete their lives and to give them something that they're lacking. Right? That's why it's
One thing is for sure is that it is almost impossible for a man to be in a relationship with a woman and not be able to offer anything to her. So whether tangible or intangible, that means he has to offer something in order to have a relationship. Relationships are not just based on nothing. And basically what she's saying, the way she's trying to bring down and just basically minimize the value that a man brings to her life, it's quite insulting to say the least. Because it's like if you're a man who's gonna be attracting her or who's gonna be having her in your life, she's already seeing you at a lower standard than her. She's already looking down on you and like, okay, try to impress me. What have you done for me today? It's like this is not enough. So basically you always have to try to meet or buy her affection, buy her attention, and you always have to keep working for that. And she's expecting to just be able to do the bare minimum in order to keep you. Because again, it's easy. You have to be doing all the work, right?
what do you bring to my table? They don't bring everything to their own table. And the reason why
Do you bring everything to your own table? It's like, okay, at this point, the fact that you're talking about it is because you want something at the end of the day. Even if the guy would be like, okay, well, you have what you have and I'll have what I have, we'll meet halfway. She wouldn't want that. She would want him to actually be also adding to what she has. This is what she's trying to say right here, but she's trying to make it seem as if, these guys who she's attracted or this guy who's gonna be coming into her life as if they're gonna have nothing. They must have something to be qualified to be around her in the first place.
this is a great question for a guy to ask is because it lets you know as a woman that he's looking for whatever emotional or physical things you can provide to his life. And the men who don't ask already have everything for themselves. So they're not.
So guys, I understand you have to be a complete person for yourself. But one thing is for sure, if you are so complete, and the way she's trying to make it sound as if you are so complete that you don't need someone comes to your life is just like whatever. But the fact that you have someone in your life is because this is something that there's a certain value that they're adding into your life. Whether tangible or intangible, there's a certain value. She can say emotional and all of that, tangible or not. It can be emotional and all of that. It is still something that you want. It's still something that she would want something as well. But it's like saying that, some men who doesn't talk about that. I mean, guys, best thing to do is to not talk about that so you wouldn't bring up a red flag. But just know that she's gonna ask you herself. She's gonna also try to know, okay, what are you gonna add into my life? Because one thing is for sure, she's not gonna be ashamed to ask you, okay, what are you doing? What is your background? What do you do in life? And all of that. Because all of that is to identify what is your status, what is your level, and what can you add it to her life. It's gonna be somewhat indirect, but it's still the same thing at the end of the day. It's still trying to identify what can you add into her life. But the first thing is to understand what she's gonna add into your life as well, because this is a transaction. This is a mutual understanding that, okay, I'm coming into your life with this and you coming into my life with this. If you are not doing it like this, then you are putting yourself at a very much a deficit.
Looking for a woman to help them to get more out of life. They're looking for women to share this beautiful life with.
These guys are looking for a woman to share these things with. Yes, that's true. And because as men, we are generous. But at the same time, we are also wanting something in return. It could be femininity, it could be a certain type of personality, it could be a certain type of lifestyle that she has. At the end of the day, we still want something. Because again, if you have so much, you don't want to have anyone around you, because there are some people who are bloodsuckers, there are some people who are just leeches who just want to attach to you and just to extract from you. If you're gonna have worked so hard, or whether you didn't even work as hard, but the fact of the matter is you still have something that people want. So which means it's always best that you try to be a good manager of whatever you have, or a good stewardess of whatever you have, in order to, you know, to not be extracted and be taken down for as a dummy and to be used as a dummy. So guys, don't be afraid to actually have this conversation. You might not want to ask directly, but if you do ask directly, it's still okay. But you still want to find out what type of person that you're gonna allow and let into your life, because that person can bring your life up or bring your life down, or keep your life stable, because you definitely don't want someone to come in and just ruin everything, or just create a complete chaos, a complete destruction to what you have going on. Because it's good that you know, okay, what are you bringing to the table as a woman? So it could be that she's bringing stability in the sense that she's stable emotionally, mentally, in her own ways, but or she can bring chaos, you know, problems. And I do understand, you know, a lot of the time some people will say some women do bring problems, but again, how big is the problem is you want to be able to think critically and be able to analyze. It's not only about the beauty, it's not only about the femininity, but it's also about, you know, what is she bringing into your life, in terms of, it doesn't have to be money, it could be just her personality, her character itself, because this is very important. If you as a man want to be stable and or you are climbing, you want someone who's, you know, dependable to be around you, not someone because they have going through motions, so now they have an excuse to act so out of pocket, and now you're supposed to just accept it. That's too unstable. And especially as a man, when you are climbing, when you are growing yourself, you need someone who can be, you know, also stable around you, so that gives you a certain type of peace, that so you don't have to take your attention away from your goals and your pursuit and put it all onto her, which is not a sure way that in the long run is gonna give you the outcome that you want. It's better that you know, find someone that is stable around you. Like and follow. Thanks.